Hello to my kindergarten, first grade tag students. Today we will be doing the tag lesson, Influence of Greek Architecture in the United States of America. The tag strategy that we will be covering is the carousel brainstorming, wagon wheel, scamper, inquiry. Again, and we are in the unit architecture. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip over to the second page. You already know that Greece is located in the continent of Europe. Ancient Greek architects created building features that were different from those of past civilizations. Greek architecture influences many United States government buildings. We talked about that last week. And columns were often used in ancient Greek architecture. You will understand that ancient Greek architecture influenced architectural designs and practices in other civilizations. Columns help to create sturdy, strong buildings. And what you're going to do is participate in creative thinking via Scamper. You're going to use inquiry skills to explore and experiment with column strength. And we're going to redesign something using components of Greek architecture. So our essential questions, what you should know or what you should be able to answer by the end of this lesson is, how did ancient Greek architects develop their own unique features to include in building design? How did ancient Greek architects develop their own unique features to include in building design? The second question is, how has ancient Greek architecture influenced buildings in our time, meaning today? Okay? How has ancient Greek architecture influenced buildings in our time? So, our hook. As you all know, we typically would do a carousel brainstorming. Boys and girls, this is when Dr. Rucker typically puts that question at each table. I give you some sticky notes. You go around, you answer the questions. Then we do a museum walk where you go around and you look at your classmates' responses. So, for the sake of the setting that we're in, I just simply want you to answer these 5 questions. Okay, the 5 questions are right below in the area that says activating strategy. All right, so these are the questions you will answer. Number 1, if creativity were a machine, what would it look like? And if you would like, you can actually draw that response. If creativity were a machine, what would it look like? Number 2, if you were a cupcake, what kind would you be and why? Remember to relate it to your personality traits, the type of person you are, okay? Number 3, name or list things that are both hot and cold. Number 4, architect is to building as blank is to blank. You create your own analogy, okay? I want you to think creatively, think outside of the box, all right? This is a critical thinking question. Number 5 is a photo analysis. What do you notice and wonder about buildings? Okay, so it says these buildings. We might can get away with that one because we're not in class for me to actually post a picture. But if I can find one, I will hold it up, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do, I simply want you to read the handouts, okay? I want you to read the handouts that I've given you. As a matter of fact, Dr. Rucker will read it with you, all right? All about ancient Greek architecture. The ancient Greek people lived around 3,500 years ago. Their architects introduced many new features that became part of Greek building designs. These features became part of building designs around the world too. The ancient Greek people lived around 3,500 years ago. Their architects introduced many new features that became part of Greek building designs. These features became part of building designs around the world too. All right. Many Greek buildings had columns. Columns are large posts meant to hold up and support the buildings and make it safe. At first, columns were very plain and simple, but over years, they changed and became detailed and decorative. There are 3 main types of columns: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. All right, we talked about that last week. Another feature often used in ancient Greek architecture was an octave. An octave is a flat, plain, thick layer of stone sitting right above the columns. Its purpose was to create strength and support. The roofs of ancient Greek buildings were made of very heavy marble and limestone, carved with intricate details. The job of the octave was to hold up all the parts of the roof. All right. The Piedmont is a triangle-shaped carved decorative part near the top of the ancient Greek buildings. Greek architects designed the Piedmont to be a special and decorative part of the building. Many were carved with leaves and flowers, scenes of battles, shapes of mythological creatures. Sometimes they even told story of Greek history. Ancient Greek architects followed many rules when designing a building. One rule helped make sure all the buildings were similar. It was called the rule of symmetry. This is a new word for us, a new term. Symmetry is something is exactly the same, that is exactly the same on both sides, all right? Other rules they followed helped to make sure that buildings were safe and strong. Greek buildings were built so well that many of them still exist today, even though they are thousands of years old. Many materials were used in ancient Greek architecture. They used wood, unbaked bricks, limestone, marble, clay tiles, and bronze. Wood was used for support and for roof beams, while clay tiles were used for rooftops. Unbaked bricks were used for walls and homes, while limestone and marble was used for walls of temples, assembly halls, and theaters. Limestone and marble was also used for steps, columns, piedmonts, archways, and other parts of buildings. Bronze and clay tile were used to create beauty and decorations. All right. So we have types of Greek building. We have temples. Temples were the most common type of public buildings in ancient Greece. They stored a statue of Greek gods or statues of Greek gods. On one of the most famous of Greek temples is the Parthenon. Stoas. Stoas were echelon buildings used as gathering places and markets. Theaters. Theaters were where performances and plays took place. They were built into a hillside so people could sit along the hills and watch. And assembly halls. Assembly halls were similar to a theater but smaller. They were used for important town meetings where all the citizens could meet. All right, so I've already read everything. I want you to go back through. I want you to highlight and underline key details and important information. Then you're going to complete the Greek Architecture 321. All right, so with this, you're going to use the space provided below. You're going to record 3 new facts you learned from the reading from ancient Greek architecture. Then you're going to develop 2 descriptive words that connect to your learning. All right. So go ahead and complete that. And if you guys have the resources, the materials you need to build a strong column would be cups, rice, a dish pan, or a tray, masking tape, cardboard box, a funnel. You guys can even use for this toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. Those work as well. Yeah, and then if you're wondering what a scamper is, I've included this for you to review as well. If you have any questions about this lesson, feel free to contact me. This one is actually supposed to be a fun one. You're simply going to take notes with this one. And then if you have the resources to do the project, go ahead and create your columns. Or if you can draw them, if that's what you would like as well. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at ruckerad@fultonschools.org. Or you can call me using my Google number on my website, www.drruckersrockstars.weebly.com. Hope you guys are staying safe. I miss y'all so much. Love you. Yeah. See you later.